Should Bumble be floundering now that the tenants of 4B have found their way to the West? We are going to talk about Bumble and this crazy ad campaign that they're running. This girl a mess, y'all. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra, this is 𝐒𝐿𝐿 𝐁𝐞 This is my space where I share my life with you guys, and I also talk about crazy stuff on the internet. And today is one of those let's talk about crazy stuff on the internet days. So if that stuff sounds good to you, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Also, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up while you are at it. So we're gonna be talking about this ad campaign that Bumble has out. And whew, let me tell you, this is the Bumble Fumble, because they had such an opportunity to do their rebrand in a better way, and they totally failed at that. So let me just put up a couple of these ads. So basically what they are doing is they are relating to this newfound wave of lots of women practicing abstinence, no relation, celibacy, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of them are not dating, and a lot of them don't even want to be bothered. And I talked about this in my 4B movement video. Please check that video out if you have not saw it, because a lot of what I'm talking about is gonna kind of relate back to what I was discussing in that video. And we know that these dating apps cannot survive without women, because women are like the product, right? Because guys always complain, women have their pick of the litter on the apps, and they have all these guys hitting them up and this and that and that and this. But a lot of women don't even care about that, because it is not quantity they're after, it is quality. And they are not finding it on the apps. So what do these ads mean? Like, to me, when they're talking about, oh, don't be a nun, and you don't want celibacy, the life of celibacy is like WWAC. The first thing that says to me is like Bumble is promoting hookup culture. And you may say, hey, they didn't say, go out and be with everybody and blah, 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 blah. They're just saying that you do want intimate relations with someone. So, use Bumble to find that. Well, they also really didn't say that we were focusing on getting one partner, or we weren't focusing on getting a relationship, or we were focusing on marriage, or whatever your ultimate goal is. And a lot of women's ultimate goals is not to engage in intimate relations. It's really not. Eventually, down the line, down the road, whatever. But it's not the first thing that they're after when they get on these apps. Now, of course, some women, yeah, sure, why not, whatever. But for the most part, because women are complaining and they're talking about, that is what the issue is with these apps. They get approached in derogatory ways. They have right out the gate conversations about hookups and things like that. So apps have gotten this bad reputation that is what they're there for, and they're not there for meaningful connections. And it is so funny, because as I was on TikTok, I came across an ad for Bumble, and it just made it sound like it was just so different than the other apps. Insert ad here. And if you think about it, the app is just like all the other apps. I mean, there's no real true difference, right? Except like with this app, women have to message first. I believe that they've changed that, or they've partially changed it from what I've read, what I've heard, or whatever, that men can now message women first, but like they have to pay for it. And it's just like, eh. And like traditionally, I guess that was a draw to the site because women can have control and they can blah, blah, blah. But that really doesn't really make sense because you're matched with each other. So that means you liked him. So you would want him messaging you? Like, I never got that part of the app. And it's just like, these days, I think women are wanting guys to take more initiative, to like not be lazy and like message them first and like just do it. Because this is honestly like, it's so crazy because my boomer mom gave me this advice like when I got married, and it was like, how you start a marriage off, or you can just apply this to any relationship, is how you have to keep it up and ultimately how it would continue. And it's actually like brilliant advice. If a guy or even a gal starts off a relationship lazily, not putting in any effort, not putting in any initiative, putting everything on you to do, that is how it's going to continue. And it's going to manifest itself in other ways. If you are the one doing all the texting and doing all the calling and planning all the dates and paying for everything and this and that and that and this, that is how it's going to continue. And it's not going to get better. And it's going to get worse, especially if you decide to like have a children or like enmesh your lives together. Like, you're going to start to see how all of that plays a part in a lot of the reasons why relationships are breaking up. It's because one party now has to like do everything. And like, frankly, people are tired of that, right? So they're like, nah, you know what? I don't even want to date right now because I feel like there is no draw to that. And in fact, this is why they are, choosing to be abstinent, celibate, not date, blah, 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 blah. I also feel like with this ad campaign or whatever, that they're taking away women's autonomy. At first, like, it was all about women's right to do whatever they wanted to do with their body. And that included like hooking up or like engaging in relations outside of marriage or going and living with a guy or whatever. And now I feel like women are like waking up and they're seeing that we did all that, but it still didn't really help with our situation. In fact, it probably made things worse. It probably enabled some of this like lazy behavior or like a lot of this weaponized incompetence that we're seeing a lot, because everything is just handed to someone. And when things are handed to them and it's very easy, it's like they have no initiative to do more. They don't have the initiative to like work for things. They don't have an initiative to better things or go out of their way or try to do things more for their partner that they may be needing. And so people are really changing their minds in how they're engaging in relationships. And now you're saying that women, you should engage in relations. You should do this because this is what dating is all about. And I have news for you guys. Dating is not all about that. And in fact, I think that dating is a better experience for women because they have so much to lose from engaging in relations. And if you don't believe me, I talked about it in my 4B video, and I'm just gonna put the short here so that you can see when I talked about how like the benefits, they just aren't there. You have all these other risks that come from engaging in intimate relations. For instance, pregnancy. That's a risk. And you have the risk of STIs. Yeah, you do. There's another risk that I kind of want to briefly touch on, and maybe it won't be brief, I don't know, that a lot of people don't think about. And it's kind of like old-fashioned, maybe, and outdated, but it's something that I want to bring up, and that is reputation. Because, you know, and I'm not really trying to like slut shame or anything, but let's be real. We're talking about how society is. And how society is they shame women for engaging in relations and they don't for men. And that is another risk that you as a woman take on. And I'm not saying that like, you know, you shouldn't do it because of that. I'm just saying this is real life consequences because of the society that we live in. We have to think about what could possibly happen. And not only that, we have to think about how we might become attached to a person because we're engaging in these relations with them. And I'm not saying everybody, you know, has attachment when they do it, but a lot of people do. And we need to realize what comes with that attachment. We're emotionally investing in people that are not necessarily emotionally or any other kind of investment in us. And once again, that brings about those unequal relationships with no reciprocity. So what are you really gaining from this person? Except for maybe an O from time to time, maybe. And yeah, initially we wanted like liberation to do it with whoever or whatever and all of that stuff. But now I feel like we're kind of moving back to where we want to not do it. And we want to just chill out. We want to relax. Like, if we want to date, we want to date. And if we don't, we don't. And if we want to date, we want to remove that out of the equation so that we can get to know someone better. We can find out what their intentions are. We can really don't have that pressure and that added to the experience so that we don't get that attachment and we can make a better choice and a better decision on who we want to ultimately end up with. And I think that if you are engaging in those things, that it can often lead you to making decisions that you probably wouldn't make if you were more clear-headed and you didn't have those relations with someone. And I feel like out of all of the things that we could discuss in like pop culture or society right now, we want to talk about women's decisions on what they want to do with their bodies. And I'm just not down with that. I'm not down with that at all. Because I don't think that guys are complaining about their inability to hook up with women. Maybe they are. But that isn't going to lead people to fulfilling relationships. And maybe honestly, that is what Bumble wants. Because if you're not getting into a fulfilling relationship, then you're going to keep coming to the app and they are going to keep making money. Because if people got into fulfilling relationships, ultimately you would think that they would get off the app and then Bumble wouldn't be able to make money. So maybe this is what their plan is. Because if you think about it, like if you addressed the real problems that women are having, then maybe, women would have better experiences on the apps and they would actually want to use them. For instance, let's talk about safety, and that was addressed in like one of the ads or whatever. And I don't think that they take it very seriously. Do we have reminders to people about safety issues? Like, are you taking seriously when people report people on there? Because I've heard about how women have reported people, guys, that have essayed them, and Bumble does nothing about it. And they will actually pop up again for them in the app, which could be very traumatizing. Like, what are you doing about that, Bumble? Like, are you taking that seriously? Like, what are you doing about the scammers on the apps? The apps are full of scammers. Like, are you really addressing that issue? Like, and not only like actual people that are out there like catfishing and trying to scam and get money or whatever, but like also the scammers. They said that people were posing, like restaurant owners or people that had restaurants were posing as like dates and trying to get people to come into the restaurant and like spend money, and they would like ghost the people because they would come to the restaurant and they'll be like, okay, I'm here now, so I might as well eat. Like, what are you doing about that kind of stuff? Like, all of this AI and technology and algorithms you have, but you can't get scammers off your apps? And another thing, what are we doing about the married guys on those apps? Like, are we okay with that? Like, obviously married and unavailable. Like, you go to their Facebook and they have pictures with like their wife and kids and their pregnant wife and kids. Or people that are like in full relationships. Like, and we're not even talking about like 𝐸&M people, which is ethical non-monogamy or supposed ethical non-monogamy. And like, why are those people on Bumble? Like, I get you want to be inclusive and this and that and that and this, but like, can we separate the app for like 𝐸&M people, poly people, like hookup people, like relationship / marriage people? Can we separate that? So yeah, I think Bumble is like a mess right now, and they're floundering and they've made a mistake, and they have not catered to their demographic. And their demographic is women, because they want women on these apps. Because as much as guys talk about like women in 4B, like we don't want you, like bye, like that's fine, whatever, they really do want women. They really do. And it's fine. Like, if you want to date, then that's cool. Do that. Like, doesn't matter. But I feel like there just needs to be a change in dating apps in general. Like, what do you guys think? Like, how has your experience been on the dating apps? I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear what you think about Bumble, the 4B movement, all of that stuff. So put it in the comments below. And you know what? I'm done with this, y'all. Okay, just kidding. I'm not done talking. So the founder of Bumble actually issued a pseudo apology or whatever. And you guys, I hate when people apologize. But anyways, let's talk about it. We are removing the billboard with those messages. We missed the mark. Great. I'm glad you admitted that. Completely agree that it is a safe and important option when the laws are so restrictive and unfair and dangerous for women. Yes, not engaging in relations is a very safe and important option for women. We got this one wrong. Yes, you did, Bumble. Please know our intentions are always to advocate and have women's best interests, and this message landed wrong. No, it didn't land wrong. It just was wrong. We are taking action. What action? I'd love to know what action you're taking. Thank you for taking the time to reach out. So Saying you're sorry, okay, great. Admitting you're wrong, okay, great. But what are you actually going to do as a dating app that is supposedly catered to women? Stay tuned. Just say no to dating apps. Bumble has really ticked me off because, anyways, I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you so much. And make sure you continue to spread kindness anywhere full of hate. Bye-bye.